Can I say it? This is bull. And this era of wrestling is absolute bull. Thank you very much, James. Here we have it right here. And the name in itself, I guess that's a Minnesota neighborhood or something, or where they grew up. The Shaker Heights Spike. It doesn't really roll off the tongue. Do you agree?
Yeah. Well, the thing is that, I mean, I'll say this. I absolutely hate the Beverly Brothers, not in a good way. They were so bland. Like, if you go a few years back and, you've got, as you say, the Road Warriors and the Nasty Boys and the
But these are
Rockers
Minnesota
and Heart
people too.
Foundation.
These are Minnesota guys, so they do have a pedigree to some point. Were these guys, I forget the name in AWA, were they the Minnesota Wrecking Crew, or were they some type of wrecking crew?
No, the Minnesota Wrecking Crew was Ole Anderson and Gene, I think.
No, I know that, but they were some kind of wrecking crew, or did I get them right? It was Wayne Bloom and Mike
Ball was their finisher. Shaker Heights in Ohio, apparently. Beverly Brother.
So it sounds like the Beverly Brothers were from Shaker Heights, Ohio, which was probably a rib on somebody.
Yeah, they were the Destruction Crew in AWA, and also in the NWA, the Minnesota Wrecking Crew 2.
Yeah, and the real name's Wayne Bloom and Mike Enos, which Mike Enos, during Scott Hall's debut as one of the outsiders invading WCW, walking down, Mike Enos was in the ring for that match.
Who was he wrestling?
Brad Armstrong?
He was the Mauler.
The Mauler.
Is that?
But that's
Enos?
where Enos wouldn't get out of the ring either. He just kind of stood there, remember?
Yeah, well, did they even tell him?
That's a great point. Did they even tell him? You know what? I wouldn't want to be told about taking this finish, by the way. So, yeah, you have it right at the. Is this the thumbnail right here?
It might as well be. Oh, I'm stupid here. Sorry. Mike Enos was the Mauler. Who the hell was he wrestling then?
I don't know. But he was in the ring way, way too long. And Scott had gotten in the ring and he was still over in like this corner right here. And Scott was coming down and got through the ropes right here. But he was standing like right there.
Yeah, Colonel Robert Parker had to take him away.
Yes. That was one of the managers. By the way, Bunkhouse Buck was
fantastic manager as well. I can't believe I forgot him.
Fantastic worker.
Yeah.
But Bunkhouse Buck was one of my favorite characters in WCW as well.
Underrated.
That was his brother.
Was it him and Dick Slater? Cousin, I think.
What was that?
Jimmy Golden. He was Jimmy Golden, wasn't he?
I believe
He was the cousin of the Fullers.
Yeah, but also Dick Slater. They teamed up. Bunkhouse Buck and Dick Slater, right?
Yeah, I cannot believe they were tag team champions in like 96.
Wow. Some people can't believe I was hardcore champion. I can't believe it either. See, I pulled it around and said, bury me. Don't bury them. Okay.
Oh, come off it. I mean, 86 maybe, but 96, come off it. It's the same year as the NWO. Right, okay then. So we've got the Shaker Heights Spike.
All right, you want me to play this in real time, right? We're okay?
Play it in real time. Yeah, there's quite a few of them, but just play the first one first, and then we can analyze it.
Well, that was at the end of that. So let's go right here. Here we go. Oh. This is Marty Champagne, first name Sham, last name Payne, and the Triple H pedigree thing. This is the bump. Only from, seriously, this dude's like got to be 7 feet in the air or more. I don't know. Like when you look at this, it's like a 3D, but what do you expect? Like, here's the thing. I'm going to just go technically right here. You're setting them up for like a 3D, right? Or like a shatter machine, a FTR would do it. Wayne Bloom is jumping up in the air too. Now this dude here, he has him right here. Okay? I know they're trying to pancake to where he's flat. So he's coming straight down in a flat sense. He's already off the mat. Look at that. This guy's way high. So the trajectory being that high, and then the guy is coming down that way and eventually down that way. It's just not a move. Like, who came up with this move? Look at that. Sideways. He's not even being pogo sticked like with the pen here. He's coming down, but the head is crimped like that. So you're breaking your neck almost this is probably the second worst way to land rather than head back, chin up. It's really like, who came up with this finish? This has to be the worst thought out finish I've ever seen. Here's another one. I'm going to go around.
You can play them all in a row if you wish. This is a compilation we pulled off YouTube.
I mean, what do you expect? It's like a backdrop. See, that dude knew. Oh, you know what? Look at this. I got to stop it, though. Okay. So this dude knows what's about to happen. Comes up. He wants to take a flat bump. What does Wayne Bloom do? Grabs him by the hair and pulls him down. You see that?
Is he even trying to like twist his neck like sideways?
He's jamming his head to make sure not that he takes a face bump, chest bump, stomach bump. He is literally trying to spike the top of his head. Now, I don't know. We talked about the Yokozuna one. Was something said in the back? Because these are all rough. This one in particular looks like the guy is resisting that. He might have saw the first two or three. It doesn't want to take that. And Wayne Bloom's like, no, and literally snatches his hair and jams him down. Look, he didn't let go until he hit the mat. And that guy might have landed the best way on that left shoulder. That's BS, dude. That wasn't terrible, but still terrible bump. So I don't know what can be said about it. I'm going to go back to that one. See, there are different ones. This is the one right here. Is that?
But they're not an accident. That's the thing. None of them are an accident. This is the way that it was intended to go, which I find just absolutely insane.
Yeah, I would agree with that. My point with this is, number one, you don't just come up with the finish. They didn't do this finish in AWA, as far as I can remember.
They did. I actually found a clip where they did do it.
Okay.
But once again, it was always against enhancement talent, not anybody with a name.
So what's the point? The basis for a finish, the number one basis for a finish is, can you do it to, I can't even say, I'm looking at this. This is complete crap. Can you do the finish? Number one, safely to everybody. Now, whether you're going to put some stink on it like Yokozuna or anything, but can you do the finish safely? And can you do it consistently looking as good as possible? In other words, can an enhancement talent and also a roster guy, no matter what place on that card, can they take it the same way with the same bump and make it look just as good? Even here, all the bumps are rough, but nothing is the same. It's not like a power bomb or a stone cold stunner or a DDT or, which you can take in variations, but you know what I mean. This is just, look at him hold onto his head. He's holding onto his hair, pulling him down and purposely spiking him into the mat. Now, I don't know these guys from anybody. I met Mike Enos, I think, in WCW. You had said that they have a reputation for being nice guys, but what's this? This is awful. Even here, this guy has no hair, short hair. So I'm going to grab you by the back of the neck and hook you like a can opener in MMA and bring you right down.
There strikes me as that there is a potential way of doing this safely, or at least safer. And
it's the 3D.
That.
The 3D where you grab the guy in a diamond cutter, or see, this is the problem. These guys are doing the finished and enhancement talents, right? This is during the era of monsters still in WWE. Can you even vault a guy up that high to pull him back down? And dare I say it, why would you? This is a combination of moves between you do a backdrop, but also like 1, 2, 3 kid, lightning kid, Sean Waltman took the best one. Michaels too. AJ takes a great one. You throw them up in the air, they flop, face bump, stomach bump, chest bump. The other one is the X Factor is this. Boom, face bump, chest bump, stomach bump. This is one of those indie finishes or spots where it's like, hey, you know what's cool? Or you know what hasn't been done? There's the reason why it hasn't been done. And no, it's not cool. Because guess what? You just wasted however many weeks or months of squashing enhancement talents and getting yourself over. But guess what happens after that, James and everybody? You wasted all this time to establish a finish that every person on the roster is saying, no, I'm not taking that. You've just pigeonholed yourself and that's why the Beverly Brothers, they had a good look. They could cut decent promos in AWA. They were big dudes. They were Minnesota guys, which those guys usually get used pretty good in WWE. You basically pigeonholed yourself and limited it based on this finish. Whoever came up with it, like, did these guys a disservice and did the enhancement guys a great disservice. I hate that. Dude, you were totally right with the Yokozuna. I caught myself in the bubble, being institutionalized, being indoctrinated to try to rationalize the type of behavior to hurt people in a two-tier society, enhancement and main roster. Can I say it? This is bullshit. And this era of wrestling is absolute bullshit. And you're absolutely right. And anybody with a mind and common sense in the real world would look at this and say, these guys are jerks. That's not the point of the business. So they could be nice guys, but they literally killed their WWE careers, not just enhancement talents physically. They killed their careers by pigeonholing themselves with a finish nobody would take. Sorry for that tangent with that.
No, absolutely. I don't think there's enough anger for that because that is just crap. It really is. I mean, it looks like they're trying to paralyze people in real life, and it's ridiculous. I've got a quote for you. This is from Lanny Poffo.
Well, I was going to say too, real quick.
Okay.
I will be real quick. I promise. They can be whatever, but you're not. You are trying. You're grabbing them by the back of their neck and their hair and jamming them down to make sure you're going to take this bump the most dangerous way you can take it. That's what I get from that. It's careless, it's irresponsible, and it's quite frankly embarrassing to the business.
So Lanny Poffo's quote, he had a podcast some time ago for about a year or something. And he said this when asked about the Beverly Brothers. He said, very nice people. And then he said, I didn't like the fact that they used a move called the Shaker Heights Spike. And a lot of the jobbers, and then he explains jobs and enhancement. He doesn't like the term. They were afraid to take the move and they took it anyway. And they hurt a few people. And the word got out that the Shaker Heights Spike is no fun to take. Well, my point is, if you're going to do that to the enhancement talent, how come you never did it to Fred Ottman, John Tenter? How come you never did it to the Powers of Pain, the Legion of Doom? All these guys, apart from the fact they're huge, and you couldn't do it anyway. Well, no, you did it to the enhancement talent and you didn't care if you broke their necks. Well, that pisses me off. You do not take a guy in midair and throw their head down on the mat just hoping everything's going to be okay. But they already hurt a few people and they didn't mind doing it and they didn't mind hurting more people. And I thought to myself, well, every time somebody says, how do you like managing those guys? Oh, it was better than having to work with them on television. I never had to take the Shaker Heights Spike. That's not a move. That's a disaster waiting to happen because if you hit your head just right on the mat, you're going to break your neck. And then you're going to say, you're sorry, and sorry doesn't cut it. Not when you break your neck.
I forgot. You reminded me. He did manage them. Yeah, that's true. But how can you parse? See, there's just that 1% of still being institutionalized in the wrestling bubble. Nice guys, but they hurt people intentionally. You can say they didn't mean to, but there's some intent grabbing someone's hair and pulling them down. Where do you say, yeah, but these guys also, this is, I guess, in a way, not knowing psychology and not knowing the way the business should work, even if they had years of experience, and also at the same time, a bit of wrestling karma. You did all these things, and then what ended up happening? the most you ever did, even for a short time, was put those names that Lanny Poffo talked about over because no one wanted to take your finish. Where in the world was The Office previous to the first time, and especially after the first time? You know, there's that one guy who got paralyzed in the ring with the Marty Jannetty rocker dropper. Every single person could have sued the company for this.